Welcome to another edition of Thunder and Lightning. I am your host, Dan, and of course, next to me is Lightning. Nikki, Nick, what's going on tonight? Hope you have a wonderful Sunday. What's going on tonight?
Did a lot of podcasting today and a lot of content today. Guest spot. So, football season starts coming around and everybody wants the Queen of New York on their show, as they should, right?
Right.
You know what's so funny, though? I tell people, hey, I could talk about things other than just the Giants. We could talk about fantasy and we can talk about around the league, which is cool. I got to do that today. But most people are just like, nah, we just want you for the Giants and NFC East. So I've officially pigeonholed myself.
Way to go. Oh, hopefully.
I spent 2.5 years in one direction only to pigeonhole myself right now.
It's okay. So we have a fun show tonight. So the Hall of Fame season is officially over. So that means Eli.
It was like a day.
But the whole
do you count from the announcement of who's getting inducted to yesterday as Hall of Fame season?
Not really, but in terms of the new class incoming eligible players, now their season comes because then they have to go to multiple cut down lists and hopefully get their name announced during Super Bowl week. So this year hits close to home for us because he is basically both of our quarterback for pretty much our whole generation as being a fan. So
correct. So
it's pretty cool to see Eli being pretty much nominated to becoming a Hall of Famer this year. And this year's class is going to be loaded.
Do you have the list before we get into...
I could quickly build it up, but I've seen the list. I know the list. The important people on this list is pretty up there. So if Eli finds the way to make this list, I'm going to be pretty impressed. The big names are Marshawn Lynch, running back from Seahawks, Raiders, Bills fame. Actually, my favorite non-Giant, so he's an automatic for me.
Oh.
T. Sizzle, Terrell Suggs from the Ravens, automatic bed right there. And then the greatest clutch kicker of all time, Adam Vinatieri, is also on that list from Patriots and Colts fame. Obviously, if the Colts didn't go, the Patriots wouldn't have gone on that dynasty run if it wasn't for Vinatieri kicking all those game-winning field goals in the Super Bowl. So those are the automatics. All right, no duh, those guys are going to be getting their names called. So this is where it's fun. Eli Manning, we all know his career. It was 16 years of basically starting every week until 2017 on that crazy week of McAdoo and Jerry Reese, and then getting fired later that week. But with Eli, I think Eli is more underrated as the seasons go by faster because people don't realize how clutch Eli Manning was, and people want to discredit both Super Bowl runs and saying, "Oh, it was the defense
all
the time." Especially when they should go look back at the 2011 season, let alone just that season alone. That was his Hall of Fame season because every week in the fourth quarter, Eli carried the Giants into a victory every single week.
Every week.
We had the 30th ranked rushing offense. We had our defense that was okay. It wasn't that defense that we had in 2007.
Yeah.
And people like to forget that. And they like to discredit him, saying he's Peyton's brother. It's his name. It's crazy. He pretty much played every single week. So, of course, his stats positively and negatively are going to affect everything. So, he's a shoo-in for me. Obviously, I'm a homer, like you eloquently present it. But with Eli...
I'm glad you admit it this week.
For Eli,
a good start.
For Eli, I'm a big homer, obviously, but I just think between just everything he's done for the NFL world and those two Super Bowl runs are the biggest win. Well, all right, the first Super Bowl was arguably the biggest upset in NFL history. So why wouldn't you put the quarterback, the MVP of that game, in the Hall of Fame just because of that game, let alone, and that whole playoff run is just an all-time playoff run. So I haven't seen any people negatively say anything yet. I know you have more of a bigger following around the league. So what have been people saying to you, I guess, on these podcasts that you were going on this week?
So basically it's that his in-season stats suck.
And
right?
he's a 500 quarterback in season, and I get that. But when it mattered the most, you can always count on Eli. So I think you can outweigh the 500 record in the regular season with what he did in the playoffs, especially those two runs.
Well, and what people like to say, and I hate this argument, is, well, if you take away his 2 Super Bowls, well, you can't take away the 2 Super Bowls. You can't write the history of the NFL without Eli Manning. Like, could you write the history of the NFL without, like, Trent Dilfer? Yeah, probably, right? Like, I don't know. Like, you can't call Tom Brady the GOAT, right?
Right.
And then Eli Manning goes and beats the GOAT twice. And just like, oh, by the way, like you said in 2007, I didn't even think we were going to be there.
No one did.
Like, it was improbable. And then to do it again a few years later with the same rematch, like, it was just crazy. So to do that twice, and just what bothers me is people. Playoff Eli was like ice in his veins, Eli. Okay, a switch flipped, and we got playoff Eli, and it's like people want to ignore that, right? So it's like, well, the defense bailed him out. He was a 500 quarterback in season, and he got lucky on the plays, to Tyree and Manningham. Like, you got lucky. But you guys don't see everything that led up to it. You don't see that he was I always say, best ability is availability. He was available every single week. He would get his ass kicked because, oh, by the way, the line still sucked. Like, I mean, if we forget that too, how quickly we forget. And so, like, just going on the road and just making it freaking happen every single time, week after week in the postseason, like, that people forget that. What about that NFC Championship game against the freaking 49ers? Like, the shoulder pad is completely off. Like, I thought this guy, was just going to be like dead by the end of the game, but he kept going. He got up and he took another hit and he kept going. And I think when people ignore that, I just think that that's ignorant, because you can't just say, well, take away his 2 Super Bowl wins. And but that's why he's in consideration for the Hall of Fame.
And the other thing I want to mention with Eli that a lot of people forget to mention, and it's not to discredit the players that we're going to mention, but all the players that Eli has made better, maybe other than Odell, didn't do anything when they left the Giants, or they unfortunately got hurt due to injuries. But, like, when all those players left the Giants, they basically were washed up and they didn't really do much without Eli. So it's just one of those things with Eli. And I think with you and me, and I'm not going to make it an excuse, because interceptions are interceptions.
Yeah.
But the one year that he led the league in interceptions, if you watch the games like we did, they were bouncing off Akeem Nicks's shoulder pads. They were bouncing off Mario Manningham. They were bouncing off Steve Smith,
just flat out, just like, and dropping it, and like weird things happening, and then it's just like,
for those that year was a fluky and weird year, but no one's gonna want to like go into it.
They're not gonna want to go into that.
And it's fine.
You have to look at Eli for the quarterback he is, and people don't want to do that either. It was always high risk, high reward, and that's what that Kevin Gilbride offense was like. And people they just want to ignore that. I love how people want to cherry pick things to fit their narrative. You know what I mean? So it's like, let's just ignore all of the other things that were going around. You have to take him for what he was. He was that type of quarterback at Ole Miss. You have to understand that that's what you were getting, and we saw it play out. There'd be really bad games. I mean, really bad games where you're looking at this guy like, what the hell are you doing? And then all of a sudden, here he comes, just clutched. I mean, he was so clutch. I forget what the stat is, but didn't he hold that record for like most or was that Matt Stafford? They were neck and neck or something.
They're neck and neck, but he still has the most passing yardage in playoff history for 2011. So
yeah, okay, so it's like everyone wants to complain about the in-season stats, and I just think it's funny that that's the argument, because then those are the same people who are like, well, football is a team sport. It's not just all on the quarterback. Then why are you putting it all on the quarterback?
See, that's exactly what it is. And
I don't get this.
And another thing with Eli, I do want to say, I think he gets in now because of the Manning cast. I think if he wasn't in the limelight of being on one of the more successful shows of a successful football show with his brother the last couple of years, I think that also helps the people like, oh, Eli was a very good quarterback to be a Hall of Fame worthy quarterback, because you're still going to have Roethlisberger's still going to be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. It's going to be close with Stafford. He's going to be in the same boat.
Does Phillip Rivers get in the Hall of Fame?
That was another one. Like, I think stats are there for Phillip, but Phillip
but he didn't do anything. So,
right.
This is the thing, because there's no criteria to get into the Hall of Fame.
There's zero, and unfortunately unfortunately for Rivers, he unfortunately didn't win the big games, and that's where the team game comes in, because one of the AFC Championship games, he was playing hurt, and they couldn't find a way to upset the Pats. I'm pretty sure that the game was.
But for you, okay, so for you, if you're voting, let's pretend you get a vote. Are in-season stats enough for you to vote in a guy like Phillip Rivers, or do you need to see Super Bowl wins?
So here's the thing. We both see Phillip. So I personally think I say I would lean towards yes, because I would personally vote for Phillip. I would.
See, I wouldn't.
Okay. No, I think with Phil, I think his numbers are there, and how he ran that offense with LT, LaDainian Tomlinson. I know a lot of Giant fans get pissed at people calling him LT. LaDainian Tomlinson, and then Antonio Gates. Like, I think
those guys, yes, and I'm with you. I get it. For me, I don't think that's enough. And I think he will get in. I don't think he's first ballot. If Phil, no,
he's not gonna be first ballot. But I think
you know what? People sit here and make this argument like, well, he's got the in-season stats and Eli doesn't, but Eli's got 2 Super Bowl MVPs, and
I think fantasy football hurts that as well.
Well, I don't think fantasy football should be a consideration.
No, I know, but I'm just saying mentally as fans. Okay, we had Phillip play on our fantasy team X amount of times.
No, I'm talking about, let's pretend you got a Hall of Fame.
Oh, no, I agree with you. I'm just talking.
We're not talking about idiot fans who just can't distinguish like reality from.
I would personally put all 3 of those quarterbacks from the 2004 draft in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I don't think it's enough for me.
What about Matthew Stafford? He's in the same boat. He got that one title.
But he's got the one ring. That would push me over the edge.
The other big name that I would probably leave out, but he choked in the Super Bowl, Matt Ryan is another one.
I don't think he gets in.
No.
I think there's too many choke jobs.
Too many. I agree.
There's way too many choke jobs for me.
That's the thing. Like, I get the devil's advocate of Eli Manning, because the game changed so drastically when he was in. And
people forget that part. Again, people want to look at this and they just want to take one stance, and it's like, well, with any of these guys, there's so many elements to the argument, and the hard part is there is no criteria to get into the Hall of Fame, right? It could just be whatever means something to you. And to me, if you're going to defeat the greatest of all time twice.
No, and that's what I'm saying. I think that's what gets him over the hump. I think if we only won one of those Super Bowls, I think we would have had to wait a year.
You think he's first ballot?
I think he is, like I mentioned before. I think him being on the Manning cast really helps. And his name, obviously, being a Manning, and then all the other stats, playoff stats and everything else with that, and him being in New York, I think it's going to push him over the edge.
You know what's so funny about this whole discussion is he's probably the first to say he doesn't care.
He's not going to
never
care.
that guy.
Never.
He's never that guy. And I guarantee you his speech is going to be all about everybody else. It's not going to be about him. And I could tell you right now, and you will agree with me, that man does not give two shits. I think he would be like, one of those like, hey, this is cool to have. Thanks so much. But I don't really care if I get in or not. He's just not that guy.
No, and you're 100% right.
We sit here and hem and haw over it, but he is so beloved. Did you hear the applause when he threw out the pitch at the Yankees game?
Yeah.
Like how quickly we all forget how much everybody hated him. Right.
Yeah.
And now
I actually have a funny story about the hate.
Okay.
In college, there was this sports store in the Palisades Mall that had like authentic jerseys and stuff like that. And it was during Christmas time, and they had like $100 off, like 50% off on the jerseys. And this is when I was collecting jerseys. I still do, but not to the degree.
I
do, but
Tommy Cutlets is the
I could at that time I could have legit wore a jersey every day, and I could have not repeated myself. So
your jersey collection is like my sports bra and yoga pants.
Back in the day, yes. Back in the day, for 100%.
Back in the day, you still get jerseys. You just couldn't resist on Tommy Cutlets. Like it just called to you.
I saw a couple today, by the way.
That's why I call you a homer. If you're getting the Tommy Cutlets jersey, you're in deep.
Well, that was a joke. That was a podcast. That was a podcast joke. If we won a game, I would get it. And then
okay, but nobody had to twist your arm. Even if we didn't have that
I'm gonna wear that Thursday on the stream. Hopefully he plays well.
This Thursday?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
We'll see. I gotta dust it out. Anyway, so long story short, the jersey was like 50 off, and it was either a Jeremy Shockey jersey. I love Jeremy Shockey, or an Eli Manning jersey. And I was like, I'm just gonna get Eli. He's my guy. And one of my friends was just like, dude, how are you spending $150 on an Eli jersey? He's a bum. He's this, he's that. And I'm like, dude, no, he's not. We're gonna make a run at this, and we'll see what happens. He's still my guy, and I'm gonna ride or die with Eli. Then 4 weeks later, they win the NFC Championship. Guess who's at Modell's waiting for a championship shirt? That guy who told me that Eli Manning sucked.
Who is that guy? Is this a friend of yours?
Yeah, he's more of an acquaintance. Like, he hung out with my group of friends. But
you still talk to him?
Not really. But he would be like, he was on News 12 Westchester, that he was a front online. Like,
all right, who is it? Put him on blast. Let's go.
My friend Marty. He's a cool guy, but it was really funny. He wasn't like, he would be like, oh, I don't care about the football. And then he was at Modell's right after the Giants won the NFC Championship game. So I was like, all right, dude.
Bandwagon fan.
100%.
You got to be there through like the hard times, and
100%. So that was one of my funnier memories. Like, dude, like, what are you doing? You just told me Eli sucks. Like, why are you doing that? I don't tell you how to spend your money. Like, why? What are you doing? So
I think everybody has an Eli Manning jersey, right? I mean, even I
now,
do.
Yeah. Everybody has an Eli jersey now. Some people have 2 or 3, like me. But yeah,
you're 3.
Yeah.
Which one? What are they? Different colors and stuff?
One blue one, and then I got the 2 Super Bowl jerseys.
Okay. How many jerseys total? So let me ask you, because my nephew collects jerseys, but this is going to be a generational difference, and maybe yours is just Giants related, and maybe it's like so he's going to be 17 in a couple months. Right. So think of a 16, 17-year-old boy. They collect these jerseys and sneakers, but mostly jerseys. And then like when I always ask him, what do you want for Christmas or your birthday? It's like various player jerseys. So I don't know if that's just how like these kids are now, or they just want like the player jersey. Like it's not necessarily team specific. I mean, he's an Eagles fan, but like he wanted everybody's jersey. Like, so is it like that for you, or was it just experience?
That player really had to wow me to get another team's jersey.
I feel like that's how kids are now, though. It's like,
that's
that culture. You see them after the game swapping jerseys and stuff.
Right. I would have to be completely wowed for him to wear a different team jersey. Giant jerseys.
How many do you have?
Oh my god, I probably have 25 to 30.
Really?
Maybe more. Then we're talking like a 20-year span.
Okay, I thought you'd have more. I thought you were gonna tell me like 100 or something like that.
No. I actually got to we got to restock my jerseys. I have Saquon and Daniel Jones and a Tommy DeVito jersey. So yeah.
Who's next? Who's next on your list?
I'm waiting on a neighbor's number.
I want a neighbor's jersey.
We gotta wait on the number. They said the Dan Duggan article said he does not like the number 9. So
he doesn't like the number 9, huh?
He also is going to have to pay a lot of money to Graham Gano as well. So,
what number does he want?
I don't know what number he wants, but he currently has number 9.
Oh, okay. He doesn't like 9. All right. What number was he in college? Do you know?
8.
Oh,
he's gonna have to wait a year.
You're gonna have to. So I love how you think it's gonna be not a great year.
One of my friends today, Bobby Skinner, I don't like to name drop, but Bobby Skinner, I was talking to him about like what number is he gonna wear, and he said, why not 88? I go, that's great, double 8. That's always a good wide receiver number. Obviously, he wore 8 in college, so double it up, and I'm all for that. So we'll see.
Okay, what number would you wear?
I would wear 87 the year of my birth. My birth. I like that number. I always like that number. It stands out. How about you?
3.
Figured. Okay, so you got a quarterback kicker number, so that's cool.
Yeah. It's a good number. 3 is a good number. So I was on The Real Deal with Damian Adams this afternoon, and we did NFC East predictions. And something we did was we went quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and defense. And then we ranked them throughout the division.
Okay.
And, we agreed on the quarterback. I think I had Jalen Hurts first because for me, it came down to the postseason on who I trusted more. And so we had that flipped. We had Daniel Jones third, and then
Jaden, because we haven't seen him yet.
We haven't seen him. And so then we're going through running backs, and we get to wide receiver. And we disagree heavily on wide receivers because I had obviously Philly 1, but I had the Giants 2. And he was like, are you crazy? And I said, just hear me out, okay? There's a lot of, just look at the wide receivers in a vacuum. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of talent in that room. That's a very fast room. And I think if the Giants can put it together with some of these free agent vets that they did get on the offensive line, and if Daniel Jones can be just serviceable, that wide receiving core can compete with anybody in the division. So as it stands now, because in Dallas, you have CeeDee Lamb and who?
Cooks is still there, right?
Yeah, but he's not. He's like a non-factor.
I disagree with that. He had like a couple week stretch. He had a couple week stretch with touchdowns.
Couple
weeks.
Okay.
I had him on fantasy. He had like 3 or 4 weeks.
We're not talking. We weren't talking fantasy. That wasn't about fantasy.
I'm just saying in general.
I'm saying I don't think Brandon Cook's like 2-3 week stretch of a good fantasy run outweighs what the Giants have in talent in the wide receiver room.
No, I like your positive thinking for once.
And for the Commanders, for me, it was like, I've never seen this team put it together. I think they got a lot of talent at wide receiver. It's just, they got new ownership. They got a new coach. They got a new quarterback. I just don't, how's that all going to look? Are they going to put it all together? So you thought I was crazy, but I am telling you, the Giants wide receiver core is underrated, and it's better than people are giving them credit for.
I think it's underrated, but I still put them at number 3 or 4.
No way. They're not at 4. No way.
Okay.
There's no way.
Okay. No.
We're not talking about fantasy. I'm not talking. Okay. This was strictly what it is right now.
I think CeeDee Lamb alone outdoes the Giants. Hey, Alex, what's going on? It was awesome seeing you today. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, but see, that's the point. It's supposed to be the entire room, not one guy.
And I get you. I just need to see more out of Jalen Hyatt.
Yeah, but if you're looking at the Cowboys as a whole, you've got one guy.
Okay. And we potentially have that one guy. So
Yeah, but we've got a lot of other guys.
I agree,
and
I like Wandale a lot.
Yeah, and he's fast. Like I just think like if we're looking at it as a whole, you can't just say, okay, well, CD Lamb. Now, if you're talking fantasy, that's a completely different ranking, and then yeah, I'm all in on it. But we joked, we said it's CD Lamb and the Temptations because it's like
right,
okay,
right.
And who else? So, when it came to defense, it was obviously Cowboys. And then, I looked at the rankings last season. Eagles were ranked, 26? We were 27. And the Commanders were like 30 defense.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody wants to sit here and say the Eagles defense is like miles better. Not really. We were splitting hairs between.
No, their choke job was all on the defensive side of the ball last year.
That was crazy. They went 1-6 to end.
And they got embarrassed in the playoffs as well. So
that was a beautiful thing to see.
This year's NFC East is going to be really interested. I know my text chains are starting to get a little crazy with that. So I'm excited about that. By the way,
with NFC East, like we had to do a prediction. I know it's too early, and we're going to do our predictions in a couple weeks. But like, where are you feeling right now? Probably the same as
for us.
No, just in general. Like, who do you think? Like, how do you think it plays out? Who finishes where?
I think this is the last dance for the Cowboys.
Okay.
I think this is the last dance for the Cowboys. They're still really, really good. The Eagles are obviously really good. They got the firepower, but they are missing a chunk of their offensive line. We got to see what's going on with that. They have a lot of mouths to feed. And can their defense wake up after that slumber of a breakdown that they had towards last year? And the pieces that they drafted are still rookies, so it's going to be interesting to see how they adjust to the NFL life as well. So I think it's Cowboys, Eagles. I think it's one more year with the Commanders. I think with the Giants, we have just a little bit more of that coaching offensively. I think Dan Quinn is good and Cliff Kingsbury is good, but I think they have to know their team just a little bit, one more season with that.
Okay, so you think the Cowboys take the division?
I think so, but unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, I'm going to obviously be wrong because, since 2005, there hasn't been a repeat champion.
Okay, but I mean, outliers happen.
Right.
You never know. I think it's just going to be that, right? You have the Cowboys and the Eagles fighting for that one spot, and then the Giants and the Commanders fighting for the bottom of the barrel. But
right.
I really hope, and I can't wait for the year where it's like reversed.
It's
talented enough to get through Philly and Dallas.
I think it's coming. I really think it's coming.
How far away do you think the Giants are from that? How many years? 5, 3, 2?
I'll say 3.
I'm with you. I think we're 2 to 3.
Because
years
next year with a rookie quarterback, if we draft one, I think we get not a pass, but it's like, all right, it's a rookie. Prove us wrong, rook, but don't completely suck type of thing. Then year 2 is like, all right, we got the year 1 under the belt. Let's get it running. And then year 3 is like, all right, all systems go. We got a full team for you now, and let's get it going. You know what I mean? And we're still a young team. People forget that.
That's true. We are a young team. All right. Speaking of this young team, you were at camp this morning, right?
Yes, I was at camp. Alex was there. Big Blue in the Bronx. He does a great job.
Awesome.
Filming.
Tell us everything. What happened today? What did you notice?
Well, today I showed up a little late, but today's practice was more of a run-through session, and it was more of the getting the game plan ready to go for the next 2 days and Thursday for the Lions, because obviously you're not going to really game plan for these. Like, you're not really going to be game planning in front of the Detroit Lions and everything else like that. So I think they really took their time out of the practice to get those finer things working, ready to go when they play 7-on-7, when they play 11-on-11. And I'm excited to see. We're obviously not in the same class at the Lions because, listen, if the Lions decide to kick a couple field goals in the NFC Championship game, they're playing in the Super Bowl, and they could have easily won. You know what I mean?
I know. We all wanted Baltimore, Detroit. Nobody wanted Kansas City, San Francisco.
So if they kicked a couple field goals, they would have been in the Super Bowl last year. So I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see that it's the one team that you're like, all right, you know they're going to give us everything they possibly can. So
in our kneecaps.
They're going to bite our kneecaps. They're going to play hard. And that was one of the dictators of last year's camp when the Talking Giants guys went to camp. And they're like, dude, the Lions are going to be freaking awesome this year. I know everybody's picking them to be the darling last year, which they were. And it proved to be right. And the Giants just were in a camp just relax, and it showed. So I'm excited to see it. It's going to be annoying when we see Golf and St. Brown and all the other guys score touchdowns on our defense in 11-on-11s, but I think
are you really going to be that upset about it?
I'm not. I'm talking Twitter as a whole. I'm excited to see them play another team other than us.
Yeah.
Because our secondary is getting absolutely torched by Hyatt and Wandell. Wandell had the best scoring touchdown today, and it was like he was by himself for a good 10-15 yards, and I would love to know what kind of coverage our defense was in on that particular play. So I'm excited to see that. Anytime you get to see another team, it's good, and that's when the testosterone gets going, and
testosterone's getting going over
and
there.
The feistiness happens. Apparently, we haven't had one fight at camp, which is good and bad, I guess, depending on what style of football you like. But I could see them getting a little testy tomorrow with another team pushing other players around. You know what I mean? That's how it happens. So I'm interested to see how they handle getting punched in the mouth by the Lions. I'm excited about that. For sure.
Yeah, everybody needs a good kick in the ass once in a while, right? Give you a reality check, keep you honest.
It's going to be a nice test gauge. I think it's a nice test gauge, and we'll see what happens. And then in a couple weeks, we go to Florham Park with the Jets. So that's another huge test defensively and offensively as well. So I think this year they pieced the practice scheduling out to be wanting to be a better team this year. Will it happen? Well, that's why they got to play the games. But the building blocks to be a better team this year is in place. Can the talent step up? Yeah, execute, step up.
Which has been a problem for years, not being able to execute on the field, which is why I come on here every week and say, I think all of this is great, but for some reason, it doesn't translate on the field. And, for as upset as we get about the Giants, I do think there is some good talent on that team. Right. Was it coaching? Were you just not able to coach these guys up to their potential? I mean, at this point, it's new defensive coordinator. We think Brian Daboll might be calling the plays, which I hope so.
No, he is.
I like that offense. I like that offense better when he's calling the plays. It's there's talent. We have concerns on the offensive line.
So apparently the offensive line, other than JMS, was playing today. So,
all right. Did you see Evan Neal out there?
He wasn't practicing. Obviously, he's still on PUP, and he's just moping
around. But you saw him. You told me you saw him.
He's alive, and I joked that he looks like the abominable snowman and Sasquatch. Like, holy crap, here he comes.
You said he looked miserable.
Yeah, he definitely looks miserable.
Does he look like he would be happier flipping burgers?
At this rate, he might be.
See, that's why you don't say shit like that, because you want to talk shit, and then karma's a bitch, and then watch. He'll be fucking flipping burgers at Shake Shack that just opened in Middletown.
Oh, nice. And what sucks is he was such a beast in college.
Yeah, well, but you know what? That's why people get all upset and crazy over the draft and stuff. And it's like, you just don't know who's going to work out and who's not going to work out. I mean, more people bust than actually become great.
Yeah.
So I can't understand. I never understand when people get so worked up over a draft pick.
Right. And the other offensive line take that I know it's been around. I'm not originally saying it, but when I hear people say it, it aggravates me as well. Is the Josh Azudu situation as well?
Why? What's the Josh Azudu situation?
We drafted him to be a guard in the 3rd round. Now he's going to be basically our swing tackle, and we saw how he was last year at that position. Yeah. I'm not confident in that as well. So that's two offensive linemen in that one draft that we might go 0-2 for. 0-3. We had McKeaton. So we might go 0-3 in their first draft of offensive linemen.
It happens. What can you do? I mean,
I know. It just sucks. It just sucks because that was a need that we needed to obviously fill, and we did not do a great job with it. So
I'm just used to the Giants having a bad offensive line. All right. So article came out, I think it was today, yesterday. So Giants, these are the biggest standouts from training camp for week 1. So I'm going to give you the names, and then you could tell me what you think. So they've got Dante Miller.
Okay.
Malik Neighbors.
Okay.
Javarius Owens.
Mm-hmm.
Jermaine Ellimore. I can't say his name.
Illuminor,
and Nick McLeod were the biggest standouts. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree. I love that you mentioned Nick McLeod because yesterday I put a poll out who's going to be our second cornerback week 1 against Minnesota, and McLeod won. And he edged out getting a free agent / waiver wire pickup at the end of camp. So
he's a versatile guy too, right?
Right. He's coming from the Notre Dame system of things, basically like a Julian Love that he knows everywhere. He's also projected to be maybe our nickel guy, but it seems like Drew Phillips has that wrapped up right now. So I think he could possibly be our other corner on the outside. So I think it's him. Illuminor, he's that steady vet at right tackle that hopefully he proves to be that steady guy that he was for the Raiders last year, and that's just steady. We need steady. We don't need great. We just need steady. That's the thing.
Steady and serviceable. That's all I'm looking for.
That's all we're looking for. I don't want to be the 32nd offensive line. I'm okay at 20. If we are at 20, we are a good team that could surprise people.
Steady and serviceable. All right.
And then of course, we can't go a pod without Malik Neighbors. It's the Malik Neighbors show. Obviously, today was just like a walkthrough, like I said. And like a couple of those walkthrough passes, you can just tell he has it just like looking through warm-ups. And it's just like, this dude is going to be so awesome, and I'm excited for that. And who else did you say? Oh, Javarius Owens was a rookie last year. He was basically a healthy scratch every week, so that's good to see. We need all the depth we can get at safety. And what was the other name?
Dante Miller.
Turbo. He's going to be fun to watch in the second half of the next couple of weeks. Maybe he finds a way to sneak on to the practice squad.
All right. Well,
what about you?
Are you happy we went 40 minutes talking about the Giants?
I know. This is awesome.
So I don't want to hear any complaining this week about how I didn't let you talk about the Giants for an endless amount of time because we clocked in at about 40 minutes on it.
This is awesome. Anyway, please like and subscribe to TNL_NYG. Hit the button, get the bell ring, follow our socials as well. I know I waited a little longer to mention that, but it's okay. So you've been watching.
I don't understand what takes, like, why I need someone to tell me, why is it so difficult to hit the subscribe and like button?
I don't
understand this. Like, it is literally like people will send me their show. I go right in YouTube and I hit subscribe and I send ours back. And now, you know what I'm going to start doing, everybody? I'm not subscribing to yours until I see you subscribe to ours. I don't know why it's so hard. Just hit the fucking button. Just hit subscribe and hit like and hit subscribe.
And it's not
very
just
simple.
us.
And then you see our social media handles on here. We post enough clips. You just go to our @s here and then you hit follow. I don't understand why people cannot comprehend this.
And it's even the bigger podcasts too. So that's what's like crazy.
I don't get it. Just hit subscribe. The one thing people will say to me is like, "Oh, well, this kills me." They go, "Well, I don't want the pop-ups," and then they go, "Well, how do I know you're live?"
Well, yeah, there you go. There you go.
Subscribe to the show. You can't handle one pop-up once a week. It pops up for what, 3 seconds? You could just, flick it off your screen.
Well, the last year's show, I get why they were mad about the pop-ups, but our channel, like the pop-ups, keep it going.
Just hit the fucking subscribe button. All of you go do it. That's it. Like, it's not difficult. Right. It's really not difficult.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
It's just crazy. You can't get people off one platform to go to the other one for 2 seconds.
And then now you can't use that platform unless you pay. So forget that.
Everything's paywall. They're making it very difficult to be a successful content creator / podcaster. It's like,
for sure,
they don't want the little guys to win.
Yeah. So
I'm not paying for a fucking check mark and editing purposes and being able to like I'm just not doing it. So you guys can come here and hit the subscribe button and watch this awesome show because it is underrated and it is the sports show about nothing.
Right. So Olympics, I barely watched. I've been watching through Twitter. My friend Wes and his girlfriend are there. I think they're coming home soon. Looks like they've had a blast. So it's been fun. Team USA, both men and women are killing it, like we both expected. So I'm excited about that. That should be double gold. Female soccer should dominate like always. I think they advanced as well. And then track and field was fun. We have the fastest guy on the planet.
Yeah.
And he won by like 0.555 seconds. So like the guy that didn't medal and finish 4th place is like missed it by that much, and that's crazy.
It's crazy.
And Katie Ledecky also has become a champ.
Crazy. Yep.
And then Simone Biles is Simone Biles.
She's amazing. Like she's literally, I just can't get enough of like watching her, especially pairing it with, I told you, her Netflix documentary. So if you guys haven't watched that, I encourage you to, it's 2 episodes. It's like 40 minutes each. Like go watch it and go see what she went through in the Tokyo Games and then go watch what she's doing now. And I think it just ties it all together really nicely for everybody. Go watch Sprint on Netflix and then go see what Sha'Carri Richardson and Noah Lyles is doing in track and field. And we actually had this talk on the podcast I did today. And I'm not one for like every stadium needs a dome type thing. Like I think the elements are okay. And I know you didn't get to watch it, but maybe you saw the highlight. I mean, I felt bad because these athletes work their whole life for like one moment in time, like an 100-meter day, like one little moment in time, and they have to run in the rain. Like I thought there was going to be a dome, like
that's rough.
And shot put in the pouring rain, like and I don't know what they do. They spin around and fucking. Well, didn't you do shot put?
Yeah. Shot put is like you just like do like a shuffle and then you like use your hips.
No, they're just out there pirouetting. They're doing.
Oh, that's like discus.
There ain't no shuffle. What are you talking about?
No, for shot put, it's like a little shuffle in the back. It's like discus is the one with the little pirouette.
No, you need to go watch the shot puts because they're doing a little shuffle and then they're spinning around and they're on one.
That's what I'm saying. Like they use their hips like a quarterback and they use all their power.
They spin around. Have you seen it?
I'm just going back in high school. And
then maybe you had the wrong technique. I need you to watch the Olympics.
I definitely did. All I did was like bend and shoot.
Why didn't you have the correct technique? Why did you do it wrong?
Because I didn't care. I just did it
so you don't care, so you just do whatever. You could have 1, hurt yourself, 2, hurt somebody else if that ball went flying, and 3, if you were on the team, why wouldn't you just want to like give your best and do it right?
I did give my best. I just didn't want.
No, you didn't give it your best because you didn't care about your technique.
It's 20 years ago, Nikki.
It still matters.
Yeah.
Why were you on the team then if you didn't care about it?
I didn't want to get hit in lacrosse, and I sucked at baseball.
Why did you have to play any sport? Didn't you play football?
Conditioning. So that was.
But you could just have worked out and kept up your fitness. That doesn't mean you're going to do another sport.
Yeah, they wanted everybody to do 3 sports. It was fun.
Who's they?
The coaches and everybody in the athletic department.
Yeah, but they can't make you do that.
No, but it was like, oh, you didn't do 3 sports. Like, whoa.
Well, fuck what they have to say. You could do conditioning without that.
Yeah. Anyway, 20 years ago. No point in rehashing that. Nikki.
No, there is a point in rehashing it because I mean, if you're on a team, you might as well try your best.
Well, I did try my best. I just
didn't because you didn't take your technique seriously.
Fair.
All right. I need you to go watch what they're doing and then text me and tell me if that's what you were supposed to do. You just didn't do it. You probably only did the shuffle part and you left out all the spinning that they're doing. And then the big yell when they throw the ball.
Oh, yeah. You got to do the yell. Ah!
Yeah, that's what they do. They yell like that. The discus girl, I watched her. She's just spinning. I don't even, how do these people not get like motion sickness? I mean, they're used to it. I get it.
No, well, obviously that, but yeah. They're like, it's like I went to school with a girl that did Division I throwing and stuff, and like the amount of preparation just doing the spins and everything without the thing to throw, it's like that was taking like the whole practice some weeks, you know what I mean, some days. So yeah, they crafted it perfectly.
Well,
anything else from?
Yes,
so how are the Liberty girls doing?
I was just gonna say that. So Team USA women's basketball crushing it as we thought they would. All the more reason Caitlin Clark should have been on this fucking team because, like we said, would happen. They're up by all like double digit 13, 14, 15. Like, there's no reason she couldn't go in with 2 minutes to go when you're up 15 points. Like,
right.
I still don't understand this. Like, I don't care. This is another hill I will die on. You should have had her on the team to bring more awareness to it because guess what? It's getting no attention.
Once I saw the All-Star teams, I knew that makes a lot more sense why why they weren't on the team.
Why?
Because it was Team NBA, WNBA versus Team USA in the All-Star game. So
I know I was there, but what does that have to do with Team USA?
Like
you saw the All-Stars, and now you know why they're not on Team USA.
Well, not only that, we're like, oh, okay, they needed to fill up that roster to get their All-Star game ready to go.
No, but what I don't understand the correlation you're making.
I'm saying like the WNBA were like, all right, since they didn't make the Olympics, obviously they're going to be on the team WNBA thing, and they embarrassed them, so that got their wake up call. You know, like they're like, oh, okay, might as well use them at the WNBA team.
Yeah, I still think that Caitlin Clark should have been on that
team.
Because now it's getting zero attention. Like I knew it would, because they're just dominating.
And well, it's gonna get attention when they win the 8th gold in a row. So that's gonna be
then it will. But think about how many people would have been watching because they want to see Caitlin Clark come in for like a minute.
No, I agree.
Nobody's watching now, and the fact you didn't capitalize on that after All-Star Weekend, it's just like a big miss to me. It's a big marketing miss, and I think she should have been on the team.
I agree. And then the men's side, it's like, all right, whoever's not playing, everybody makes fun of that player tonight. Kind of.
Yeah, basically. It's just, I don't know. I'm glad that some of these like lesser mainstream sports are getting a little more media attention. And
which they should.
We talked about that today too. It was like so many people ask like, oh, how do I get into sports reporting or covering? And it's like, hey, sometimes the way your foot in the door is to take a lesser known or a non-mainstream media sport and just go do that and just
hone your craft doing that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and just go do that. I think a lot of people like they ask me all the time, "Oh my God, well, how'd you get to the Giants? How'd you get to Liberty? Where did you start?" And I don't think that my path is typical for how I got to where I was going. So don't take my path as the way to do it. That doesn't mean, I actually think like maybe start at the high school, college level because it's so much different than the pros.
Oh, well, yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot more fun too. But, you look at like, I'm upset that like, why did I try for France? Like I realized that the surfing team is in Tahiti. I'm just going to go cover surfing now, I think.
Yeah, you blew that one.
Yeah, I fucking blew that. I mean, I'm sure they would have had me there. I've seen no coverage on surfing.
Well, in 4 years, it's in LA, so it's going to be fun.
I'm putting in for LA 28, and I'm putting in for Salt Lake City.
Ooh, the winter one's pretty good.
Well, they're already set up for it. I did that tour of their Olympic Village, which was very cool when I was there a few years ago. So Salt Lake is already set up. Logistically, I think it'll make sense. And then I think you're going to add a few things.
Right.
I don't know what LA is going to do. Where they I guess center everything around SoFi. I mean, I don't know.
Well, yeah, all the big things are going to be SoFi. I'm sure they're going to do some Coliseum stuff because it's the Coliseum.
But logistically, that might be a little tough.
Yeah,
LA is.
It's going to be a traffic-induced hellhole, but they'll make it work.
I guess so.
Yeah, we weren't really around when they were there last time, so I can't.
We weren't around when they were there last time. I'm just saying, Salt Lake City's got a good setup. Right. Going to All-Star Weekend was great. Phoenix in July is not great, but the setup was great. These little bubbles of these little sports bubbles they set up is great. You think about a place like LA, New York, Brooklyn, people want All-Star Weekend in Brooklyn, like that. It's just how there's no way to set up a convenient.
I will never forget the Super Bowl here. It was absolutely no buzz because it was like a 2-block Super Bowl. It was from 42nd Street to 34th. It was cool to see. And then you would go around the corner and you wouldn't know the Super Bowl was there. So just typical New York fashion. And then, of course, it being at MetLife,
right?
The transportation to getting there is a nightmare. We all know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the Super Bowl here sucked.
That's a good transition because we're going to have a guest on next week who had to logistically handle some elements of that Super Bowl, and I think you guys will be very, very interested to hear these stories.
That week was nuts. During the week, it was negative degrees and snow.
Well, the snow hit, and
then when the game started, it was 50 degrees, and it was
but all the stuff that goes into
right. I agree.
Yeah, it's a
that
lot.
That week was nuts.
And I think you guys are going to enjoy it. We're going to have a very special guest coming on next Monday at 7:00. So we're going to promote it all week. I'm excited for you guys to hear the stories. And I think it's going to be great because Danny and I don't have to do a lot of talking. We're just going to listen. And I think
people are going to be
sometimes you have to hear the backstories of things to really appreciate sometimes how a game is pulled off, especially in the winter. So stay tuned for that. All right. I know you hate this part of the show, but it's the most engaged part of our show. It's food fight time.
Yeah. What'd you eat? What'd you eat this week? Might as well start off with you for once.
What did I eat this week?
Weekend.
Not much. Oh, this weekend. 2 salads.
Okay. Normal Caesar. No, you don't do Caesar. So normal grilled chicken.
Grilled chicken. Yeah, so I get the salad kits from, you don't go to Wegmans, but they have this zesty Greek salad kit at Wegmans. It's really good. And I just throw some chicken on top of it. They have it's like a broccoli crunch salad, and sometimes I'll do that one, throw some chicken on top of it. So 2 salads. I haven't eaten dinner yet today though, so I am starting to get a little bit hungry. I might just have my 3rd salad of the weekend. Anyway, what did you I had some fruit. I had some strawberries and watermelon.
All right, cool. What did I have? We had pizza yesterday. It was pretty cool.
God.
We tried a new spot, which was pretty good.
Oh, how was it?
It was pretty good.
What kind of pizza? No, you can't just be we ordered pizza.
We ordered this Detroit style pizza. It's not completely deep dish, but it's a little thinner than deep dish, which was pretty good. With a margarita style. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
How many slices did you have?
2.
Okay.
Yeah, 2. Depending on the day, it could be 2 or 3, but I went 2 yesterday. Couple of garlic knots, one or 2 garlic knots.
Those are those little roll looking things, right?
Yeah, with garlic and cheese on it, which is pretty good. Some places drench their stuff with real garlic, and it's overpowering sometimes. They just did more of the sauce, the buttery part of it, which was pretty good. I enjoyed that. Today was the old favorite of mine, meatloaf. So I made
No, again? You guys
yeah.
eat meatloaf so much. Why?
It was meatloaf again. I don't know.
Why?
I
Why
don't
do
know.
you eat meatloaf like it's going out of style? I don't
It's one of my
understand.
mom's go-tos, so it's easy to make. And
Listen, I gotta talk to your mom because this is unacceptable.
right,
Did it have the ketchup crust on top like
of
you
course.
complained about? Of course. And did you have broccoli with it?
No, not today.
What'd you have with it?
I had mashed potatoes, and that was it today.
Ew. What was the vegetable?
They had like a tomato salad. Like they tossed out
Oh
tomato
my
and onions,
god. Oh my god.
but
What
it's
the hell is a tomato salad?
well, it's freshly cut tomatoes with olive oil and vinegar with onions and other stuff like that. It's really good if you like it. I know a lot of people like it.
Raw onions with the
No,
tomato?
they cook it up. Some people do that. And it's homegrown tomatoes. We have a we my parents made a garden in the backyard this year,
Ew.
so successful.
Tomatoes. What else is in your garden though?
Eggplant,
I don't like eggplant.
zucchini,
I don't like zucchini.
peppers.
I don't like peppers.
It's funny for someone that eats salads basically her whole life. She doesn't like a lot of vegetables.
No, I like spinach. I like asparagus,
Ooh, smelly pig, nice.
grilled asparagus or roasted asparagus. I like it crispy. I don't like
Right.
it like floppy.
I know. I did it for you once.
Did you? When?
One
Oh,
of the
you
times.
didn't eat your steak and you're like all
This
like
bitch.
got your panties in a bunch.
Yeah,
over it.
I'm like this bitch.
What did it matter? I wasn't in the mood
It
for
was
it.
just busting your chops, and I knew it would get you mad.
Yeah, but you still won't let me live it down.
I didn't
Like,
bring it
remember
up.
that time when you feel like whipping that out, you whip it out. Remember that time I grilled for you and you didn't eat the steak and you just want to tell everybody you like filet, but I cooked it for you and you didn't eat it? Just because you like something doesn't mean you're in the mood for it.
Yeah,
That's
I
two
know.
different things.
I tried to order food that day. I didn't want to grill, but
yeah, but we had no choice. Like,
I know.
I mean, it was fine. It was just I wasn't in the mood for steak. I think I had chicken. Didn't you make chicken?
Yeah, I made chicken for you, and I'm like, what? I'm having the filet since you're not eating it. Screw
you should have. You cooked it, so you had the filet. I'm sure it was good. It's just I wasn't in the mood for it.
Right.
No. All right. So
Dessert?
did you ate the meatloaf though?
Yeah, I had the one
How
piece.
do you? Let me ask you real quick before you tell me about dessert. How do you eat something you don't like?
Well, I mean, like, when I say I don't
physically, right, how do you eat it?
When I say I don't like it, I mean it towards of all the things I could like have, like if my mom makes something or Nicole makes something, that would be like the last draft pick of what I would eat.
Yeah, it's everybody's
I will still eat it. It's not my first choice or my third or fourth choice, but
no, it ain't nobody's choice. I want to know, how do you just
because I'm used to it, and
how do you choke it down when you don't fucking like it? How do you do that?
A lot of ketchup.
Oh, is that the secret? Ew. So wait, so it's a ketchup crust, and then you put more ketchup on top of it.
Today I did.
So today was bad, huh?
No, it was good. It was
no. Oh, stop it! Nobody likes meatloaf, and nobody should get offended by it. My mom makes horrible meatloaf too.
Yeah, meatloaf.
I mean, I haven't. She's actually the reason why I won't eat it. Since I was a kid, I was like, no, this is not good. I don't like this. I'm not eating it. But my mom's super accommodating. She would like make me something different because she didn't want me to like starve. But
that's what I mean by that.
What is your most hated food? Like, absolutely not touching. No way.
I just don't like fish.
Oh, right. That's your most hated?
I just don't like the aftertaste. I don't like the sea.
Like fish, or will you eat shrimp? Like, because some people have like a difference. They're like, I don't like.
If it has to be fried to a crisp for me to eat it.
Fried or grilled?
Fried.
Like breaded shrimp, you'll eat?
Yeah, and I'll eat calamari.
Okay. Oh, you will. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you had dessert?
No, not yet.
You're going to, right? Because dinner was so bad.
Yeah. my wonderful son, every Sunday, we're like, dude, let's be good. Let's be good. Like, let's get Ralph's. Let's get Ralph's. We're gonna get Ralph's. That was my dude. I wanted you to come to practice, but you didn't want to. I promised if you're good for mom, we will go to Ralph's.
Was he good for mom?
He was good for mom, and then his horns got twisted during dinner. And
during dinner tonight, what happened?
He just gets in his fits, and it was just
over food.
No, just in general, like he's done with the day. He has his witching hour, and it's just like,
don't we all though?
We all do, but it's like, damn it, dude. We're all riding on you to get Ralph's.
All right, here's what I don't understand. We go through this all the time. You are adults. You are an adult. You have a vehicle. I know that you can, one, not eat meatloaf because you don't want it. Two, you could also get in the car and go to Ralph's and just, why can't you get it for yourself and eat it in the car?
I could 100% get it for myself now, but I don't want to because we got to do all the post-show stuff.
Forget the post-show stuff. Even if you did it tomorrow, like, what is stopping you? Even if you did it before I don't know what time you ate dinner, but what is stopping you from just going to get? Why does every time Ralph's ride on the kid being good or bad?
Because we have to put him down. Like, maybe if we didn't record tonight, I'm not blaming us recording, but maybe we would have done it tonight.
Regardless. Okay, but there's other nights where you're like, oh, damn it, we were going to go to Ralph's, but Johnny was bad. And it's like, why can't you just go? And
we'll go this week for sure.
But you could just eat it in the car.
Yes.
Or you could just go by yourself and get 15 minutes to yourself without being bothered.
I agree.
Doesn't that sound lovely?
It's beautiful.
What would you have gotten at Ralph's if you were there tonight?
I was actually feeling a water ice tonight, so I probably would have done a rainbow.
Damn it, Johnny.
Damn it, Johnny's right, man.
God. If only you had a vehicle and
I know, right? I could probably still go if I really wanted to, of course.
What time they open till? Like midnight, summer, right?
11, 12.
I mean, you could go get your water ice, have 10 minutes to yourself, and then you could come back and do the post-show stuff. Actually, all you have to do is send me the show, and I can do that. And then you can go get your water ice.
Yeah.
Which doesn't sound so good. All right, so tomorrow, tell us what's going on for the rest of the week for Thunder and Lightning.
So the rest of the week, I will still do our Monday show. It's basically going to be a quick recap of what happened at Giant Lion Camp Day 1.
Lion Camp.
Giant Lion Camp, yes. And there will be no bears, oh my.
Oh my.
And then Thursday, we are going to attempt a post-game quick recap of what we thought about the game to get us going for the season, because that's how we're going to try to do that second show basically on Thursday nights. So that will be. I just want
you all to see and hear that Danny works me to death.
Yeah, well, that's the price to pay, be famous and great.
No, all you got to do is show a little boob and sell your soul, and apparently,
well, not everybody could do that.
Apparently, that's how you can become famous. You can just do that.
Well, I'm rooting for you with that.
We'll see how it goes.
Anyway, thank you for watching tonight. Please like and subscribe, like Nikki nicely ranted about before.
Just hit the fucking button.
That's of course. We are on TNL_NYG, and of course that Sports Network as well. So I will see everyone tomorrow. Nikki, you'll see on Thursday, unless you follow her on socials, which I'm sure you're all doing.
And if you're not, why aren't you?
Yep. Until next time, I will catch you guys later. Have a good night,
guys. See you Thursday.